And welcome back, Fired Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Fire. Today we're talking about how to be efficient with a big box splitter. Are you getting tired, Rainer?
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Picking up wood and putting into this barrel thing.
Yep, in the trailer. You have to pick up the small pieces, okay?
Ah, there's a bug.
The bugs are fine. You can pick up bugs. Yeah, pick up the pieces. And that one right there too, right there. All right, so as my daughter's picking up firewood to put in the trailer, I want to go over, a lot of us have big box splitters. If you don't have a big box splitter, you can afford one that you're going to hand split with an axe. It is what it is, but I think there's a lot of channels out there and companies that are promoting getting a semi-pro or pro splitter, and that I get. It is what it is. But we all can't afford a brute force, an Easton made, a Wolfrich. This is not in the cards. If you're going from hand splitting to a major, to a pro splitter, that's a big jump. And if you're gonna wait years upon years to save up, or you're gonna go into heavy debt to get that nice splitter and show it off to your friends, whatever. But then you're going to be in debt. And I mean, I'm not sharing that financial advice or insight. You have your own little how you do things with your finances and your income, whatever else. For me, it's not in the cards to buy one outright sometimes, because as a homeowner, I have a mortgage, as well as I have grad school debt. I had 6 figures of grad school debt. Not everyone has school debt. I still have school debt, so that's one of the reasons why I have not pulled the trigger on a big box splitter. So how can you make the most out of your big box splitter? I'm going to show you how right now. All right, I'm not gonna do a countdown or like top 5 reasons. I think that's silly. I'm just gonna ramble off a few things that I have noticed in owning a big box splitter, using a big box splitter, and making several $1,000s a year in firewood money profit by only using the splitter. Now, yes, I do hand split with an axe sometimes, but to save your body, make the machine do the work, right? Make the machine do the work. So one example of being efficient is having the rounds be close to you. So you stand here at this side of the splitter, at least for the Champion. Levers here. Okay, see the lever? The lever have the ram go back and forth. So you want the rounds next to you. Ideally, in this situation, to your left. So you're standing here, handle here, turn left, rounds. Now rounds are gonna be, they want to be at table level, not bent down. You want to be at table level. So that means having to construct or obtain, however you need to, don't steal anything, some sort of box like this. A box that get everything off of the ground, stationed like this, so then you're not having to bend down, or having to turn around your body, bend down, get the round, get back up, turn your body, and put it on the table. Having to be right here is ideal. Now this table here can only hold a certain amount of rounds, but it's better. I think it's better than having every time turning around or having to bend down and get it. Now, these are bigger rounds and they're wet. We have both maple, this is maple, and this is a fruit tree. I don't know what species it is, but it's fruit tree, so it's very, very dense, very heavy. So, get stuff up off the ground. Now another point too, I guess it would be a tool. So the box is a tool, right? Another tool would be a picaroon or a hookaroon, however you want to say it, to help to get into the wood, stab it, and then bring it up to you and on the table. I think this is a great tool to have to be efficient as fast as possible, because with the big box splitter, this wedge is not going to be rapid fast. This is not kinetic splitter. This is going to be, I think the Champion is at a 9-second cycle time. Now the pro grade whatever splitters, they're running at like 5 or 3, maybe in the 2s, 2 seconds cycle time. Now That's awesome. That is about as fast as you can get and not having it be a kinetic splitter, right? But we're not at pro grade with big box. We are at homeowner grade, right? So having this be at 9 seconds, it is what it is. So if you can, to get a piece of wood as fast as possible with the Picaroon, hook it from the ground, pick it up here and put it on the table, and then you can get to work. So, box, wood off the ground, or if you don't have a box, or to fill it up, use the Picaroon, because you want to leave this running, probably not have to start it every time you have to go around and get wood. So, another point, stick with me, I'll share it with you. So as you saw, I just split 1 rounder maple. So one of the points I want to point out, maybe not, I guess it would be like number 3 way to be efficient. Maybe it's like a part of, anyway, what I want to say is having this table here, having this box here adds to the surface space, because these big box splitters usually come with these dinky little wings. This one here, this one here. Well, you can't hold much on here. So when you have a bigger round like that, you want to split it in smaller sizes. Well, when you split it in half, you have 1/2 of the log that you don't know what to do with. You can't, you're gonna hold it in your hand while you're splitting the other one. Doesn't make any sense. So, and you can't put it on here sometimes because it's in the way of the wedge going back and forth, right? That should be obvious. So you need to put it somewhere where I've sometimes put it on the ground. Well, then you have to bend down and pick it back up. So having a table like this, where all the rounds are, you put your excess piece off to the side on top of these rounds, right next to you, at waist level where you can grab it, not to bend down. That's the key. Less movement makes it faster. Makes this thing more efficient and faster. So that's one point. Another point that you saw me do is this ram doesn't have to go all the way down to the bottom plate. All this to do is splitting, okay? So this can go in maybe 1 inch, 2 inches. Maybe it needs to go all the way, maybe to the halfway point. Sometimes if it's naughty, it has to go all the way through. I get that. But for the most part, this does only have to go in a few inches for it to pop open the round or the piece of wood. Okay, So what you do, at least specifically one that is not automatic, these are not fancy where this is manual. Now, this is automatic back. It'll go back by itself, which is fine. But I'm saying that when you have the hand on the lever here, pushing it this way to the bottom here, right? You only need to go a few inches into the round, then the round will pop and split, and you stop, and you retract it. Okay, having this go all the way down, all the way back each time for a piece of wood is not needed. It doesn't make any sense. Don't do it. So watch the piece of wood that you're splitting, watch the round that you're splitting, keep an eye on it, and once you see the piece of wood split, stop your wedge and retract it. Go back. Okay? You don't need to go all the way down. You're just wasting time. This may be 9 seconds, but you don't need to wait the 9 seconds each time it goes all the way down. Maybe go 2 seconds in, it'll pop and split, and you pull it apart, that's split. You're done. This has done its job. Okay, this has done its job. That's all you need. So that's one point. Another point that I just showed you was when you have pieces that are flat or are small enough, but they're just that big enough where you want them smaller, stack them. Stack them. Here, I'll show you. So maybe you have one piece that's flat like this, right? And you have another piece that's flat or a little big like this, okay? Now, if you look at it closely, more or less, this piece added to the top of this piece here is at the same level as the wedge. Now, sometimes you can go above the wedge and still have this work. But my point is, you're splitting two pieces of wood at once. This is like a pseudo four-way. Stacking wood like this and splitting two pieces of wood and making four at the same time by stacking. Now, if too cumbersome and you can't do this having to stack it in a few seconds, don't bother. Put this one aside, split this one, make two pieces, throw it to the side wherever else you're doing, and then bring this one in and split this one. This only is efficient if you can stack the pieces in like a second or two and then split. Does that make sense? That should make sense. Okay, so my other point that you didn't see off camera is if you have a big box splitter, you're probably not going to have a conveyor. Not a lot of us have conveyors. I do not have a conveyor because honestly I don't need one. But my point is, after you split the wood, what do you do with it? Are you going to throw it on the ground? You could, but then you have to pick it back up to put it in a wheelbarrow and a hand cart or whatever. Ideally, I would like to split next to where, well, how about this? This is one part that it may be up for debate. Do you split near where you're going to stack or pile the wood, or do you split where the rounds are? Right now, my rounds, my maple is here, my fruit wood is here, so I'm splitting near where the wood is. And then I'm going to ferry the wood with this thing to where the wood pile is. So, however you do it, but make sure that part is a part of the efficiency equation, the whole operation, to make sure that you are as fast as possible and efficient as possible while being safe with the big box splitter, is to have some sort of station where you're putting the wood. Either that's going to be a lawn tractor trailer or a wheelbarrow or some other cart. Yes, you can pile it in a pile and then pick it up later. I'm just giving you pointers of how to be more efficient. I'm putting the pieces right now in this lawn tractor trailer, and I'm gonna turn around and it's gonna go back in there to be stacked. You see the pile right there. So that's what I'm doing here. So in my opinion, don't put it on the ground. Put it in something that can help you move the wood to point A to point B. Less picking up, less touchy-touchy. I know that's a topic on channels too. The less you touch the wood or whatever. It's your wood yard. Touch the firewood as many times or little times as you want to, because it's your wood yard. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying, for me, I'm conscious of it. Time is always a factor, and I want to make sure that I'm as efficient as possible. So as of right now, I'm going to put it in this cart, drive around, and I'm going to stack it where it needs to be stacked. Another point, yeah, I'm talking a lot. Another point is these rounds, not all rounds you're going to split are going to be big. These rounds are bigger. These rounds here, and they're heavy. They're wet. They're heavy. Even to get them from the ground over here and on the box was a chore. So I want to point you to my No More Noodling episode. Get out your trusty axe, whatever it is, a council, a Fiskars, and split down the round into something that is more manageable. These pieces right here. So I'm going to pick this up and put it on the table, easy peasy. Another point, maybe not final, is if you don't want to, you don't own an axe and you don't feel the need to axe, or your body is not into axe splitting, I get it. There's no judgment there, is what it is. But because the big box splitters are fancy dancy, because they are a transformer, what you do over here is you pull out this pin. You see the pin right here? Pull the pin, pull it out. This whole thing goes vertical, okay? Vertical, and then you just roll over a few rounds and you split it vertically, okay? Then they're small enough, and then when they're small enough, then put them on the table, and then go back horizontal, put the pin back in, okay? Make sure the pin is in, that's vital, that's key, and then go to town splitting, okay? Go to town splitting, rock and roll. Now, these big box splitters are not equal. They're not created equally. All BBs are made by different companies. Now, this right here is a 4-way wedge. You have seen this on my channel. I tried to modify it to be used on the Champion. It fits and sleds on, but it is not stationary. And if I had the time to weld, I could weld a strap. Anyway, this is not made for this. If you're in the market for a big box splitter, if you want to upgrade and not jump from an axe to a pro grade splitter, you want to upgrade from an axe to a big box splitter, which I think is the way to go. Check out the county lines. These are made for the county line splitters, okay? I'm not sure why the Champion doesn't make a 4-way wedge to slip on. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why not just make it? Anyway, I have tried this with this. It's not, I don't know if it's efficient or not. I'm just so used to the single wedge that I'm pretty quick at it. But if you want to look around, this is an option in terms of brands, okay? Now, a big box splitter may run you, I don't know, $1,000, $1,100, like 13 brand new, I don't know, used maybe like 800, 900. I don't know prices right now. I really don't. And you sell a few cords, and that's paid for. Now you can go and buy brand new. I think it's called full bore. I get a picture of it. That I would say, in my opinion, that would be by definition a big box splitter. But it comes with a 4-way and a log lift. It's only $3,000. So that in itself may be, if you want to go from axe to a big box, but have a little bit more money and willing to spend maybe double what you would spend on a big box splitter, that may be the way to go. And I think a few channels have tried that out. It is a big difference, even though the cycle time may not be very fast. You're still making double the amount of wood because you have a 4-way wedge. Now, I could make this 4-way wedge, but because it's not stationary, having to pull it off each time, having to get it out of the wood, it's just a pain, as of right now, a pain to use it on the Champion because this was not made for it. But I think the full bore would be a good option to maybe consider if you have the extra money, but don't have that extra like $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 to drop on a name brand splitter. Now, I'm not dogging bigger name brand splitters out there. You know the names. I'm not dogging them by any means. I'm just saying not everyone can afford them, okay? And yes, there's an episode out there that was made a few weeks ago saying just don't complain, just buy one. And I get that, but I don't want folks to go into further debt or go into debt just to be more efficient. Yes, you could pay it off, but do the math. Okay, folks, I'm just saying do the math. How long would it take you how long would it take you to pay off the splitter on firewood alone? Because I assume if you're going to be buying a bigger pro grade splitter, you're buying it because you're selling the firewood. Now, if you have the money and you buy a pro grade splitter just to have around your house because you split firewood for your own house, then this episode does not pertain to you. I'm saying who I'm trying to speak to now would be the average Joe Schmo who maybe sells firewood on the side, maybe the side hustle, or just wants to be more efficient with their home splitter to heat their home, type thing. And I think there's ways to go to make this process using the splitter to be as efficient as possible and not having to spend the extra thousands upon thousands of dollars. So either way, I digress. What I'm trying to say is take the total expense of a newer pro grade splitter and then do the math of how long it would take you to pay that off or to reimburse, how long would it take you how long would it take the splitter to pay for itself? How many cords, how many bundles, however you sell your firewood, how long would it take you to that splitter would pay for itself? That's my point, okay? And if that would take hundreds of cords and it would take you years to have it pay for itself, I would rethink it. These big box splitters you sell maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 cords, it has paid for itself. They may not be rapid fast, but they still do the job. I don't want anyone to go into debt or go into further debt just to shave off a few seconds of a cycle time. Okay? Now, if you sell firewood and you sell more firewood than I do, sure. Because that splitter is going to pay for itself faster, no problem. I get that. But again, I'm talking about the average Joe Schmo out there. I don't want anyone to be coerced. Now, I'm not saying that the companies are doing this. I'm just saying that do the math and sit down and analyze it because you know your own financial situation. Okay, but if you want to, go ahead. Spend the $1,000 and get a nice brand new machine from a big company. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's gonna last forever. They're bulletproof and they have great customer service. I'm not saying that would be a bad decision. What I'm saying is just analyze it and just know that there are ways to be more efficient. I hope this all made sense. It's kind of all over the place, but there's ways to make this process faster, more efficient, and better, and still having it be a big box splitter without having to modify it too badly or to upgrade. Axe to big box, not axe to pro grade splitter. That's my point. That's all I'm going to say. No offense to any of the companies out there. This is my opinion. Anyway, but let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? Do you think that me being efficient is actually efficient? Or am I totally blowing smoke up your butt? Or did that make sense? That will help you out in your wood yard. Let me know. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.